Hello YouTubers, I have been, surfing the web like I always do, and I found a video.
Simply Manic 75 was a YouTube channel owned by Samantha Wilford. She was 24 at the time, living in Texas with her husband, Lee Barra, and their 5 children. On her channel, she posted homemade videos about her routine life and other topics. But before this was 2005, which she described as on the West Point in life. She had just got a divorce, leaving her in the care of her twins. That was when she met Ernest at a local tattoo shop. The two got along instantly, getting into a relationship and even starting a family. Together, the two were blessed with 3 more kids, 2 of which being twins. Due to the number of kids and responsibilities, raising them became a challenge for Ernest. But he managed to make it work by getting a second job to fund for the family. And despite their tough times, Samantha, Ernest, and their 5 kids lived a seemingly happy life. However, Samantha didn't have a job and she always stayed home with the kids, stating in one of her videos that she always wanted to be an actress. Her plan was to attain her acting career through YouTube. Samantha was a consistent uploader, making new videos every time she had something on her mind.
Hey YouTube, I just posted a video probably like 10 minutes ago.
However, she got so caught up in making videos, leaving no attention to her family, putting all the pressure on her husband, Ernest. This led to many misunderstandings, with Samantha accusing Ernest of violating her on one occasion. It was now clear that their relationship had turned sour, and in 2014, Samantha would abruptly stop uploading. Maybe she wanted to focus on her family, or she lost interest in YouTube. No one really knows. However, the truth was far more sinister.
This is 911, what's your emergency? I have a home invasion. My niece is tied up. She's tied up? She is tied up and dead.
In 2015, there was an update on Samantha that started with a 911 call from Samantha's aunt begging the police to save Samantha.
Walk me through what happened.
I don't honestly know what happened. I was in bed asleep, and we heard a noise, and the second I was able to open my eyes, somebody grabbed me and jerked me out of the bed and slammed me down on the ground and started tying me up.
Didn't recognize anything about...
They had black masks on, black shirts, black pants, every inch of skin was covered. And when they dragged me downstairs, because they had him downstairs and they were separating us, I went downstairs and his face was covered in blood.
Do you know what they were hitting him with?
A gun.
According to Samantha, 3 masked men forced their way into their home in the middle of the night and attacked their family. They tied Samantha, beating her up with a gun and later tossing her into the bedroom. And they would later go on to kidnap Ernest. Samantha somehow managed to untie herself to call her aunt to call the police. By the time the police arrived, the situation had calmed down and their 5 kids were safe. However, the intruders didn't take anything from their home besides Ernest, which was surprising to many people because Ernest didn't tend to have enemies. The entire situation was bizarre, to say the least, raising so many questions investigators hoped Samantha would be able to answer. However, on questioning Samantha, she said she didn't know anything about the intruders. But when Samantha was taken into the station for further questioning, she changed her story completely.
Somebody want to die. I'll do whatever you say, just please don't kill me, I've got kids.
And slammed me down on the floor face down and pressed the blade that he had against my throat. And they kept hitting him, I kept hitting him. Every time I kept tying things around his head because my eyes were adjusting at this point, and I'm able to see more. And then it got him down the stairs and left me.
Who is this guy?
His name's John.
John who?
His Facebook is Rebel. John Rebel.
Yeah, say he's gonna do.
Handle the situation.
When did he tell you this?
Yesterday.
Where at?
At the
Before, she claimed to know nothing, but now she gave them a name. John Rebel. And turns out John Rebel was indeed a real person, formerly called Jonathan Stanford. The police instantly found and arrested John alongside his 2 accomplices. Apprising to officers, John and his accomplice didn't resist and even confessed to killing Ernest by shooting him in the back of his head at point-blank range in a nearby forest.
Definitely did. Okay, what we need to do now? Oh yeah, he's dead. He's not gonna be alive.
But strangest of all the three men didn't know Ernest in any way, which raised the question, why? Everything pointed back to Samantha, who still denied any involvement. But there was too many unanswered questions, like why did Samantha call her aunt to call the police? She could have done it straight away. And how come none of the neighbors heard anything?
They took his phone.
So he's got his phone?
No, they have his phone.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Alright, that's what we need to do. I need to do an emergency phone ping. And I've got the cell phone number.
Can I call my mom here?
And it wasn't long before investigators discovered Samantha's involvement. Turns out Samantha had sent messages and instructions to the three intruders. These messages read, "Kill his phone, shut that down, each phone move."
I put it on my kids' life. I have not done anything.
Well,
I didn't have it done,
That,
and I did not do anything.
hey,
There was no doubt Samantha was involved. Investigators were now able to get the true story from Samantha herself. Turns out Samantha was so obsessed to become famous on YouTube that she set up the entire situation for attention. Samantha had first planned to get rid of Ernest by planting drugs in his car to get him arrested, but she later came to the conclusion it would be easier to kill him. She was sentenced to 149 years in prison for the murder of her husband, where she remains to this day.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I don't know why you girls are so repulsed by me.
Elliot Rodger was an English vlogger well known for creating videos in his car. His videos were a bit out of the ordinary, as he often told of his depression and especially his inability to attract women.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I don't know why you girls are so repulsed by me. It doesn't make sense. I'm sophisticated. I'm magnificent. I'm the ultimate gentleman. These sunglasses here, they were $300. Giorgio Armani. So I'll put them on.
In most of his videos, he's expressing his confusion as to why women don't pay him much attention, claiming that he's the perfect gentleman. In May 2015, Elliot uploaded another video.
Rodger here. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I've hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires, all because girls have never been attracted to me. Girls gave their affection and sex and love to other men, but never to me. I'll take great pleasure in slaughtering all of you.
It started off like his normal videos, complaining why women don't pay him much attention. However, he started talking about punishing these women for their sins of ignoring him. That was his last video. And that very day, Elliot made headlines, having killed 6 people and injuring 14 before taking his own life in a police pursuit. Elliot had started from his own apartment, killing 3 men, after which he drove to one of the locations. However, after being denied access to the building, he shot the 3 women outside. He would later drive to a nearby shop and shoot another student. At this point, police were after him. They were on the highway exchanging bullets. And unfortunately, one of the bullets struck Elliot in his gut. That's when Elliot decided to take his own life with the same gun he had been using all along.
The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity. Against all of you.
Randy Stair, also known as Andrew Blaze, was a YouTuber working at a local supermarket. He recorded detailed videos and journals leading up to the day of the incident. Pioneers Productions was Randy's YouTube channel. In his videos, he often expressed his willingness to end his own life and address personal issues that led to depression and identity crisis.
The more I wore girl clothes, the more I felt like that was who I was. Like I felt like I was a girl, and I found out that I was. I was never meant to be a guy. I was just a female soul trapped in a man's body my whole life.
As he continued down his downward spiral, he provided detailed plans for shooting and taking his own life. He believed that if he died, he would cross over to an animated world he so much desired. You see, Randy had an unhealthy obsession over the animated character Amber McLean from the Nickelodeon show Danny Phantom.
My life's not been the greatest. You know, we've all got problems. It's not just me. Everybody does. And then sometimes those things just make you make bad choices, you know.
The last video he posted, he was explaining about what he's going to do and why. And sure enough, every day Randy entered his supermarket to work as always. He started his routine job normally, organizing shelves until he went to the back and locked the exit. He would continue with his routine tasks before locking all the entrances and the remaining exits. His fellow co-workers saw him do this, but they didn't give him much attention. Then, unannounced, Randy pulls out 2 shotguns from a duffel bag he was carrying and shot 3 of the 4 co-workers. The one that managed to survive called the police, but when they arrived, it was already too late. Randy had shot himself.